Listen
Okay.
to me. Everything you just said is categorically wrong because there are rocks on the moon. Do you accept or reject that?
Wait, what? Like, yeah, so I'm going to make the argument here that I'm not, well, actually, here's the thing. I'm going to say that I am an agnostic and I believe that I can be rationally agnostic of a tri-omni, an omnibenevolent, omniscient, omnipotent creator who is the creator and sustainer of the universe and of all being, shall we say. I believe I could be agnostic about that. Do you have any issues with the way that I've defined God there, or anything like that?
No.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm agnostic because I was actually raised Catholic. Like, I was raised Catholic, but I'm agnostic because I believe that the existence of an absolute perfect being defies the capacity for understanding of a normal of a human, and we would have to attribute non-perfect characteristics to that being in order to create any justification for its existence. So in other words, I would have to be able to point towards the metaphysical reality of a god, and being able to do so would mean I would have to conceptualize of that reality and understand it, which would diminish its perfection. So I'm taking something that is close to the akin of via negativa, of why we cannot know God. And in saying that, I believe from that point, if I cannot know God, then there is relevant falsehood from a Gettier position, and so there is no need to believe or disbelieve necessarily, and so both positions are equally as rational. So that's my position outlined.
Okay. Are you maintaining that you're neutral toward the existence of God?
Um, I'm maintaining that it's not about a belief in the existence of God, but in the knowledge of God. I'm neutral towards the knowledge of God. Um, I'm, I,
Are you neutral toward the existence that there is an ultimate creator God? Are you neutral toward that?
am I neutral towards the existence of an ultimate creator, existence of ultimate creator God? I guess what I'm really saying is I don't believe that I can even know what that is to be positive or negative towards it.
I want to know what it is at a fundamental and ultimate level that would institute and secure that anything is necessary. Do you have anything defensible that would implement and secure that?
There is nothing that could show the necessity of logic sufficiently. It is
I didn't.
fundamentally
I didn't. I
impossible.
didn't mention. I didn't mention logic. You need to focus on my questions, not answer something that you would like to me have said. You need to answer the questions that I have asked you. Is there anything that is fundamental
Ooh,
and
you're
ultimate
robot. You're
that
roboting a bit, mate.
dictates? Is there anything that is fundamental and ultimate that dictates any and all possibility and impossibility?
Is there anything that dictates all possibility and impossibility? Um, Not that I'm aware of or not aware of. If that's so,
So
I
you
have
have
no
nothing
idea.
identifiable. Okay, so therefore nothing's impossible then.
Well, yeah, anything that breaks the laws of logic would be impossible.
None. No. What dictates the laws of logic?
Necessity. Yeah, here's a question, mate. Would
Okay,
you say
well,
that God is
I'll be
necessary?
glad to, I'll be, God himself is what is fundamental and ultimate. He's eternal.
Right, and
He is
is
the
his
Almighty.
existence
Now,
necessary?
okay,
Is
it's
he
necessary, and he's metaphysically necessary. Yes,
okay? Why would you say that he's metaphysically necessary?
because he revealed that he is the only thing that is eternal.
Okay,
Now, I've
and how
answered
do
your
you know that he
question. I had
revealed? How do
okay.
you
Well,
know that he
first of
revealed that?
all, okay, I'll be glad to address that, but you have yet to answer my questions. You keep on flipping and flopping all over the place. Now, what
Um,
I want to know to you is, can you say what is, can be, or cannot be when there's nothing
is cannot.
identifiable? That may would you not overspeak me, please?
Sorry, I'm just running it through my head. Sorry.
Okay, so can you assert in a logically necessary way uh, what is, can be, or cannot be if you have nothing that is identifiably instituting what's possible and impossible? Since you don't know what, if anything, is fundamental or ultimate, and you have no defense that there's something dictating what's possible and impossible, then you're not going to be in a position to say what is, can be, or cannot be. You keep on appealing to the laws of logic, but the laws of logic are abstractions about the nature of all particulars. But you don't know.
Okay.
You don't know the fact that you can't doubt them doesn't instantiate them. I want to know how you can assert anything that is necessary when you don't know that anything is fundamental and ultimate, dictating everything.
Well, here's actually, I guess, the point. I would say that there cannot be knowledge in relation to something which is absolute and ultimate, because it goes beyond comprehension, because it would require something that goes beyond human capacity. So then you would have to tell me how you can know God without attributing something which is non-absolute
to him. You're changing the subject now. You're baiting and switching. Now, everything you just said is wrong.
How is it?
There are Listen to me. Everything you just said is categorically wrong because there are rocks on the moon. Do you accept or reject that?
Wait, what?
Everything you just said is wrong because there are rocks on the moon. Do you accept or reject that statement?
I have no idea what that means in terms of how it's relevant.
There are rocks on the moon. Therefore, everything you've said is false. Do you accept that?
No, I do not accept that.
Okay. Well, how would you rule that out in a world where nothing is defensibly impossible?
Well, I would say the laws of logic are always necessitated, which is the necessitation rule in modal logic, which is why they're in all possible worlds include logic.
No, how would you know what's possible if you don't know what is fundamental, ultimate, dictating what's possible? What's possible and impossible are contingencies. Okay?
No, they're not.
Okay, listen to me. What's possible? We're not talking about abstractions here. We're talking about the real world. Okay, we're not talking about your vivid imagination. All right, what we're talking about is the ontology of existence. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What is, can be, or cannot be ontologically? Is there something that is fundamental and ultimate, that is the source and the basis of why anything is, can be, or cannot be ontologically?
That question cannot be answered.
If you can't answer that, then you need to be quiet in your non-Christian worldview, because you're not going to be in a position to say what is, can be, or cannot be. The only way that we could, then how would you be able to know what can be ontologically then? How do you do that?
So you would build it up from the necessitated basis of being, nothingness, and reason.
No, listen to me. That is mumbo jumbo what you just said. Okay?
What is that mumbo jumbo?
It's mumbo jumbo. Please tell me what is fundamental and ultimate, dictating and securing what is ontologically possible and impossible. What is it?
There is no way to define something which is external to possibility by definition.
Okay. Repeat that again.
So there is no ability to define something which goes beyond the limits of language, goes beyond the limits of possibility, by definition.
So as far as you know, is then events and relationships be events could all be spontaneous and unrelated.
As far as any of us know, there is no fundamental instantiation of the laws of logic beyond the point of necessity.
Okay. Again, the laws of logic pertain to all particulars. All right. Now I'm going to ask you a question.
I deny the existence of particulars.
Oh, you do? Okay, good. Well, then the conversation's over then, because then there are no actual distinctions. Any verbalizing of distinctions would be fiction.
No, you can have individuals and individual universals. So this would be the understanding of Aristotle.
When I talk about particulars, I'm talking about things that are discrete from other things ontologically. Are we clear?
That's determinate objects or determinate beings.
Okay, Listen to me. I'm talking about ontologically here. Okay, is the ultimacy of reality, is it a concrete one or a concrete many?
Is it the one or many? It's both.
And how were you able to determine that?
Because
how did you determine what is the concrete one? What is that?
How did I determine what is the concrete one?
What is the concrete one? What is it that, in order to tell me what the concrete one is, you're going to have to be identifying what is fundamental and ultimate. But you told me that that's unidentifiable
I
and
don't
unattested.
believe I can tell you what the concrete one is beyond the point of saying
then how do you know there's a concrete one?
All I would say is there's a necessity of existence.
No,
So
listen to me. All you're giving me is mumbo jumbo.
How am I giving you mumbo jumbo, man?
Is the totality of reality, is it a concrete one or a concrete many? You said it's both. Okay, what is the concrete one?
What is the concrete one? The necessity of existence. Sir,
that's an abstraction. I want to know concretely, what is it that is one?
It is I can only talk in abstractions about what is an abstract concept.
No, if something is a concrete one, it's not an abstract one. That is why I ask you, is the totality of existence a concrete one or a concrete many? You said it's a concrete one. And a concrete
I see what you
many.
mean. I see what you're saying. Okay, I don't know.
We're talking ontologically. Okay, so you don't know whether the totality of reality that it's a concrete one or not.
I don't know whether the fundamental existence of reality is one or many in its entirety.
So when you invoke references to distinctions being actual, is that real or fiction?
When something is actual, I would say that it's real. Yeah.
So actual distinctions between entities, it's real.
Yep.
And how do you know that?
I could say that the distinctions between the entities. I guess I would say that there is no fundamental way to know whether these distinctions exist in terms of the totality.
So you don't know if distinctions are real or fiction.
I do in a concrete sense, but not in an abstract sense.
Okay, so you know that distinctions are real. Okay, now is there anything that concrete unifies these distinctions so that you could intelligibly speak in your world? The God of the Bible himself has imposed a concrete oneness and manyness. Okay, so is there anything in your non-Christian worldview that concretely unifies the distinctions that you say are real?
Becoming. I would say becoming unified.
No, what is it concretely that imposes and sustains that the unity among the diversity of entities is real?
Wait a minute. Wait. What do you mean by concretely? Because are you saying that God then? What do you mean by?
I'm not talking about.
What do you mean by concrete?
Unity.
Well, what do you mean by concrete?
When God created this world, okay, He introduced an array of distinctions of particulars. He then imposed at various levels categories, classes, right, and universals. They are imposed by God and they are sustained by God, but you don't accept that.
But how would you know that they were imposed and sustained by God?
We would know that by God revealing it. Now, I want to know from you. I want it. Please don't overtalk me.
Well, I haven't had a chance to ask you any questions.
I want to know from you. Well, you see, you wanted to establish our discussion here was about the viability of agnosticism.
Yes.
Right? I'll be glad to discuss my worldview in short order, but we haven't finished the first topic. You want to pretend like you did an effective case. You have done none of the such. Now, what I want to know is this: can you make sense of your world if all of the distinctions in actual discrete particulars, ontological concrete particulars, that they is actual unity as opposed to abstract unity? Does unity actually exist among any discrete entities in existence?
Yeah, in becoming.
What imposes that at a fundamental and ultimate level?
I would not be able to make a knowledge claim about what could or could not impose.
So you have no defense that unity has actually been imposed and sustained.
I would say that my defense is in the observation of unity and the necessary observation of unity.
You're inferring there's unity there. Okay, if you see two women walking down the sidewalk, you might conclude that they're identical twins, but then you find out that they're doppelgangers.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
What I want to know from you is when you claim by your sense perception that there's unity among diversity. All right. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to say, well, it seems to be that way. It appears that way. It's because the unity could be illusory.
I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point.
Hey, would you not overtalk me, please?
No, would you
not overtalk me, please? Now, is the unity real?
Is the unity real? Yes.
Okay, as opposed to merely abstract. Now, what is it at a fundamental and ultimate level that is not the God of the Bible that imposes and secures that the unity is real?
I do not know if there is anything which imposes.
So you don't know that. So you don't know that the unity is real. Then
I would say that I know it's real. Yes, I would.
Okay, what is it that imposes and secures that?
I would say that it's a hylomorphic relationship between
that's
individuals.
gobbledygook. Listen to me.
That's Aristotle, actually.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to give me an answer that everyone in this room can understand.
Okay.
You see, it's very common. It's very common for graduate students like you to speak in mumbo jumbo, to speak in double talk, to try to obscure the fact that you can't answer the question.
Okay.
Now, I want to know, is there something that has actually instituted and secured actual unity?
Is there anything that is instituted and secured actual unity? Actual unity. Unity between what?
Listen, dude, you're wasting my time.
No, I'm
asking.
Please
do not overtalk me.
I know you're
overtalk me. Don't overtalk me. Now, you are wasting my time by giving me mumbo jumbo gobbledygook responses. I ask these questions every single day. I've been doing it for several years from people from all different educational backgrounds. You're one of the rare individuals who keeps on spewing gobbledygook answers. Okay? Now, if you understand the basics of philosophy and you can explain it, you should be able to explain in everyday language for everyone in this room to understand what you're saying. Now, is there something that in actuality imposes and secures that there's unity among diversity?
I would say that being itself necessitates unity at a fundamental level.
Okay. Does being encompass all particulars?
Being encompasses...
Does being represent, is it the set of all particulars?
Of all particulars. If by particulars, you mind if I take that as individuals? Just
all discrete ontological entities.
Does being represent all discrete ontological entities? Yes.
Okay, so it's an abstract set?
Yes.
Then it wouldn't be concrete. I want to know what concretely is ultimate and fundamental that imposes the actuality and the perpetuity of unity among discrete entities.
But wait a minute. What I kind of don't understand here is why you think there could be something concrete.
Okay,
which would
is there something that is ultimate and fundamental that imposes actual concrete unity as opposed to the appearance of unity?
There is nothing that we could know of that would be concrete that could establish unity beyond speaking. So
you don't know if unity is concretely real or it's an illusion.
I do, because it's necessitated.
What at a fundamental and ultimate level institutes and secures that the unity is real and concrete?
Logic.
Logic is not what would dictate logic would be an abstraction, sir. That is a terrible answer, and I'm not trying to be insulted.
That's okay, I understand.
That's the kind of answer that I would expect from a 14-year-old, not a graduate student.
Okay. Ooh, that's a bit spicy.
No, I guess listen,
if I may,
it's spot on.
Maybe it is, and let me establish why I'm pointing towards this, because if I may, I've let you speak. I'll let you elaborate. I want to elaborate. I want to elaborate.
Okay, no, I'm going to server mute you. This is
if you serve, if you look, it's not your stream at the end of the day. So all you'll be doing is muting me.
You're in
talking.
my room.
Okay, that's really good.
I don't unmute you.
Look. I want to expand upon what I'm saying.
We're not going to keep on doing this. Okay.
I agree. I don't want to do that.
Now, I'm going to unmute you in a second.
No, let's just take turns.
Is logic what is fundamental and ultimate, instituting and securing all possibility and impossibility?
Sorry, say that again.
Is logic what is fundamental and ultimate, instituting and securing what's possible and impossible?
It is necessarily establishing what is possible.
No, you're not answering the question. Is logic what is ultimate and fundamental, instituting and securing what can or cannot be in terms of all ontology?
Yes.
Okay, you've now contradicted yourself. Do you realize that?
How?
Because I asked you earlier, is there anything identifiably and defensively ultimate and fundamental that institutes and secures what's possible? And you said you had nothing of the kind.
There is no such thing that is, maybe I misspoke.
It's not absolute, you didn't. No, I asked you the question several times. It's fresh in my memory.
You misspoke before. Why am I not allowed to misspeak?
I asked you several times earlier in the conversation, and this is being recorded so people can play back the video. I asked you several times over and over again, is there anything that is fundamental and ultimate, right? That institutes and secures
fundamental, yes,
all
ultimate,
possibility. No, okay, good. Then nothing would be ultimate then. Then all you have what is fundamental is metaphysical pluralism, where you have an array of concretely unified, discrete entities, all of which are independent of each other and are each sovereign within themselves.
That's begging the question. That's begging the question.
No, that's not begging the question because it wasn't an argument.
Well, it is, because like what you're saying.
No, it's not. No, it's not an argument. It was a statement of what is called metaphysical pluralism. You believe, therefore.
I don't believe in metaphysical pluralism.
Okay. Listen to me. Well, then you're going to have to take back what you said then. Now listen carefully. You told me earlier there is nothing ultimate and fundamental. Now you're changing your tune. Now you're saying, oh, now there's something fundamental but not ultimate. Whereas when I asked you before, I asked you
fundamental but not ultimate, and I've established that numerous times.
Okay, and how do you know what's fundamental?
Through reason, what can and cannot be doubted, what is necessary.
No. I'm talking ontologically. How do you know? Are you omniscient?
No, actually, I'm not.
Okay, so by reason, you know what is fundamental in existence, that is eternal. So is what as fundamental? Is it one thing or is it a plurality?
Actually, may I just push back on that and just say this?
What is fundamental a plurality?
Are you omniscient?
Okay.
Are you omniscient?
Fundamental?
Are you omniscient?
Listen to me. You're wasting my time.
Are you omniscient?
Okay, I don't have to be, because I'm on the receiving end of a God who is omniscient, and he makes me to know certain things that I cannot be wrong about that are within the scope of his redemptive plan of history. But since you reject that, I don't want to have to serve or meet you again.
Look, I just want to ask. I want to ask you.
Listen to me.
I want to ask you.
You claim you're a graduate student.
Yeah, I am.
You're not acting like a graduate student.
Well, I think this is funnily enough. I've let you speak this entire time. I'm asking you. Look, mate. Either we're going. Look. You can.
I'm going to mute you again.
You can keep muting us. I don't really care. It's my stream, so it's like at the end of the day, like it doesn't really end up doing anything.
I've explained to you my worldview.
1 second.
Do you accept the Christian worldview,
guys? Okay.
All
right. So, just to let everyone know, essentially what I'm trying to ask him is whether he is omniscient in order to show whether he can understand whether something is necessary or not, in terms of being absolute, because I say it's fundamental, which means it's necessitated, but that I cannot know something which is absolute. Now he's saying he can know something which is absolute, which I would argue implies that he would need to be omniscient to know it. He would have to know something which is beyond the capacity of, or absolutely, that which is absolutely knowable, that which is perfect and absolute, which implies omniscience. So he would need to be God in order to be able to show that his position is established here. Yeah, don't worry.
Said no, there's nothing identifiable doing that. Now,
right.
Now, what is fundamental? Is it a plurality of things, or is what is fundamental a concrete one?
Okay, so what is fundamental is that which is necessitated, which is
listen to me carefully. I'm going to tell you this one more time.
It would be a fundamental.
I'm asking you a specific question.
It would be a fundamental one.
Okay, then distinctions. Then what is fundamental is a concrete one. So then distinctions would be illusory.
Why would distinctions be illusory?
Okay, so they're not illusory?
No, because one is...
Okay, could you tell me, what is it? What is the concrete one then?
What is the concrete one? Being.
That's not informative.
It is the foundation of all concrete.
No, it is not informative.
It is definitely informative, which is why Parmenides argued it.
I want to know what is concretely one in existence that dictates
being,
all particulars.
Being.
What is that? What is that?
How does being dictate all particulars?
No, okay, please don't interrupt. Okay, please don't interrupt. It's telling me its being is beyond vague and ambiguous. It's that's not informative. What is this concrete one?
It is the fundamental is, in the words of Parmenides. It is being itself.
Listen to me. I'm going to end this really soon because you need, if you claim that you put yourself on a YouTube, ask a philosopher anything. First of all, you're not a philosopher. You don't have a PhD. No, you're not a philosopher. Have you earned a PhD? Okay, then don't call yourself a philosopher.
Why do you need a PhD to become a philosopher?
Okay. Because that's like calling yourself a doctor before you have an MD.
No, it's not actually. It's very different.
All right, we're not. Listen, we're not going to play these silly little games. I want to know what the concrete one is. What is it? And don't say being. I want. Okay, we're done. We're done with you. You're a moron.
Oh, okay. So, I'm pretty sure was that I think I was that.
Hold on, people can make comments in a minute. I just want to make a comment here. This is what happens with some of these graduates. This is what happens when they know that they cannot. Please do not overtalk me. No, we're done. I asked you to give me an informative answer.
Well, okay? I think it's look. Even if you understand,
overtalk me again, I'll kick you from the server.
Look, if you kick us from the server, that's fair enough.
Okay, bye.
Okay. And that, my friends, is how not to do philosophy. Okay.
Darth Dawkins is appropriate because I find atheists' lack of faith disturbing.